All right, plenty more to get through tonight. Let's bring in our political panel. Labor MP Daniel Molino and Liberal MP Andrew Wallace. Welcome to you both. Look, let's turn to today's inflation data, falling to 2.7%. Daniel, there is criticism that this is just a temporary drop. What's your response to this?
Well, hi, Shari, and thanks for having me on. So, look, I think it is welcome that the headline inflation number came down, but the number that I actually looked at first was what happened to the trimmed mean inflation. And as we all know, the RBA is really focused on core or underlying inflation, and that dropped from 3.8 to 3.4. And indeed, if you look at the last couple of months, it came down from 4.1 in June to 3.8 last month to 3.4. So the trajectory is good. Now, of course, you've got to be careful with monthly readings, but we're seeing core inflation heading in the right direction and getting close to that 2 to 3 band, and that's really what the RBA is focused on. And the RBA has said all along that its interest rate rises are having an impact, but also that the government's surpluses are helping in this fight against inflation. The fight against inflation is the number one economic priority, and I think today's numbers reflect the fact that the government and the RBA are working together and that we're on the right path.
Andrew Wallace, do you give the government credit for the fact that the underlying inflation has come down from 3.8 to 3.4%?
Well, it's good that that headline inflation has come down to 3.4%, but Michelle Bullock has belled the cat. She's consistently said that, look, it doesn't matter what sort of measures that Jim Chalmers is putting in as temporary measures to try and get a sugar hit. She's looking to see those inflation levels come down and stay down. And she herself has said that one swallow does not make a spring, and that this reduction just in the last couple of months is not giving her any comfort that it's going to stay down. So it's pretty clear from Michelle Bullock that she's not going to move on a reduction of interest rates anytime soon, because clearly she is concerned about that sugar hit that we may be experiencing right now.
Well, there's new research that says that Australians haven't been so miserable in over a decade. This is called the Misery Index, and it measures inflation, interest rates, unemployment and other factors to then determine the national mood. And it says that we're living through the most protracted period of economic misery since 2011. Daniel, this is, you don't really need research to know that families are doing it tough at the moment.
Well, exactly. I was going to say, Shari, look, I remember the Misery Index from back when I was both an undergraduate and when I was teaching economics, and we used to have a simple Misery Index which was unemployment plus inflation. But as you say, look, I don't think either I nor Andrew nor other members of Parliament or members of the community need that index to know that people are doing it tough. But just going back to a comment I made previously, that's why fighting inflation is so critical, because high inflation is going to be the most damaging economic phenomenon for people's quality of life. So it's imperative that we bring inflation back to the 2 to 3% band. But also when you think about the Misery Index, which is inflation and unemployment, what we're trying to do is to bring inflation down with the minimum increase in unemployment possible. So I think we have seen a lot of progress on inflation. And while there is a lot of difficulty out in the community, I would simply say that it's a good thing that unemployment hasn't risen as much as many forecasts had predicted. So look, people are doing it tough. That's why we've put in place so many cost of living measures, which often the opposition criticise but won't tell us which ones they'd get rid of. But people are doing it tough.
But Andrew, I mean, the reality is it doesn't look like inflation is going to come down to the target band until at least the end of next year.
2026.
Well, yes, exactly. So we're not looking at a rate cut anytime soon.
No, and Shari, as I make my way around electorate, and in fact, I was up in North Queensland yesterday and the same applies. Families, everybody I talk to is talking about one thing and one thing only, and that's cost of living. And look, I like Daniel, but I think on this point he's got it wrong, because it's because of the policies of this government that we are seeing interest rates remaining higher for longer. If you compare Australia to other advanced economies, the US, New Zealand, Canada. We have higher inflation than many advanced economies, and those countries are seeing reduction in interest rates. But we're not seeing them here, and we're not seeing them because of failed economic policies of this Labor government.
All right, and the political fight over this will continue. Daniel Molino, Andrew Wallace, really appreciate your time. Thank you.